2. Measure the width and length of the room and multiply for the square footage. When ordering hardwood flooring, allow 10 to 15% extra for irregular boards and any cutting mistake. 3. Check the subfloor. Minimum requirements are a 3/4 plywood subfloor. Make sure there are no squeaks in the floor. If there's a squeak, screw a long drywall screw into the subfloor and joist where the squeak occurs. Remove shoe molding from the room and sweep and clean thoroughly. 4. Roll out strips of vapor barrier paper, allowing at least a 4 inches overlap and staple securely to the subfloor. Use 15-pound tar paper or felt. It is relatively inexpensive. It's approximately $12 a roll at a home improvement store. Mark with a pencil along the baseboards where the joists are located. 5. Start the installation at the longest unobstructed wall. Remove the shoe molding, and snap a chalk line 3/8 out from the baseboard. This allows for expansion in the hot, humid weather and contraction in the colder, drier weather of the hardwood flooring. 6. Begin by selecting a long board to start the first row. Pick one that is straight. Align the edge of the board with the chalk line and drill pilot holes down through the hardwood plank and into the subfloor and joist. Face nail each board at the point of every joist and set the nail with a nail set. Face nail the entire first row and remember to keep the board lengths random. It is important to face nail the first row because the pneumatic nail can't get down in there. It will hit the wall and the force would push the wood against the baseboard, which would lose the 3/8 expansion and contraction. It is important to lay the first boards perpendicular to the joists which are underneath. That is important because you want a nice solid anchor. Look at the subfloor to see which way the nails and seams ran. Try to go underneath the crawl space to see how they run. 7. After the first few rows have been installed, drill pilot holes down into the tongue of each board and hand nail the rolls until there is enough clearance for the pneumatic nail gun. Tip: lay out a box of hardwood boards ahead of the installation to visualize lengths, wood grain and colors of the boards. When laying out the boards, keep in mind to never have the ends of boards in adjacent rows line up with each other. Keep the lengths random and at least 6 inches in length. 8. Using the pneumatic nail gun. Place the gun lip over the edge of the board and strike firmly with the mallet, driving the staple into the tongue of the hardwood plank. When installing up to a threshold, it is not critical to make cuts exact. Come back later after the floor has been installed and use a circular saw to cut across for a precise cut. 9. When cutting along the baseboards, select a piece that will fit in there and leave 10 or 12 inches more and cut it off. Use the other piece on the beginning of the next row. You don't always have to get it in there real close and throw out the end piece. That will save some time and waste. 10. Be sensitive to the way the ends fit together. One end has a tongue and the other end has a groove. This is called end matched. Make sure to always cut the wall end of the wood so that you do not cut off the groove that fits to the tongue. If that happens, that would result in a pretty big gap. Find a piece and lay it alongside the hole and flip it over. Make sure when you make the mark to cut off the wall side, not the room side. Note: before nailing, make sure to put at least 2 nails in every board. The rule of thumb is to place a nail every 10 inches to 12 inches. 11. As you near the opposite wall, clearance for the pneumatic nail gun again becomes an issue. Drill pilot holes and hand nail the boards until there is no longer clearance for the drill and hammer. At that point, drill pilot holes down into the top of the boards and face nail the boards, remembering to set the nails with a nail set. Tip: Use a pry bar and a few extra scraps of flooring to firmly seat the hardwood plank as you nail. 12. If there's a narrow gap for the last board, take a measurement and cut lengthwise, the last board to fit into place. Remember to leave a 3/8 gap at the end wall for expansion and contraction space. 13. Replace shoe molding in the room and putty all of the nail holes that have been face nailed. Be sure to get wood putty that matches the floor. Fill the hole and wipe off the excess. 14. Maintenance is easy for a pre-finished hardwood floor. Keep grit off of the surface by sweeping regularly and use a flooring cleaning kit, alcohol-based, and spray on and wipe off with a damp cloth. Hardwood floors also help cut down on dust mites.